Maria Taylor in the Woodstock of basketball, the Deer District.
So cool.
That's right, Kevin. That's the best way to describe it. Over 60,000 fans have been waiting outside of the Fiserv Forum, and they have been showing out and partying. It was 49 seasons between championships, which is the most in NBA history, so they patiently waited. They've come and shown their support, and now they have an opportunity to celebrate their franchise's second ever NBA title. And for the first time in 5 decades, something tells me that no one's going to leave here anytime soon, because we still have to give out Finals MVP trophies. We still have to raise the Larry O'Brien trophy, and the celebration will continue because 9 days ago, the fans that sit in front of us in the Deer District told us, this is really simple, Bucks in six. And if you didn't believe it before, you better believe it now. Congratulations, Milwaukee. You are the 2021 NBA champions, and a lot of that is thanks to your Greek freak and two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, Maria Taylor, alongside Adrian Wojnarowski, Jalen Rose. As you can see, we've been a part of the celebration. As the confetti was coming out, you know, the stage got a little bit of it. But just give me an instant reaction to what we were able to witness here tonight.
Phoenix outplaying expectations this year. Congratulations on making it to the NBA Finals. But this atmosphere reminds me, and I've been doing this for 19 consecutive years, all championship rings ain't created equal.
Not at all.
It hit different when you build and you stay. And in 2013, Giannis and Chris Middleton were on a team that was 15 and 67. In 2021, they just won 16 straight. They just won 16 games to be world champions.
An iconic finals performance by Giannis Antetokounmpo. He always believed he could will this franchise to a championship. He's done it 8 years ago. He got out of plane in New York at the NBA draft for Milwaukee, had no idea where it was on the map. He's put it back on the NBA map, and I think this is a victory not just for Milwaukee and Giannis, but small markets in the NBA, that this is still a formula to win titles.
But also, here's what he did that was genius, Woj. When this team didn't reach their goals the last couple of years, when Philadelphia was still processing and the Raptors and the Heat were winning the East and the Nets created a super team, you know what he did? He reinvested in this team and re-signed before the season. There were so many people in basketball that were imploring Giannis to leave. So now when you stay, you make it calm for everybody else. There's no panic for Middleton. There's no panic when you add Drew Holiday. They know you're invested, and he was so very dominant today.
I said it once before, but I'll say it again. Giannis decided not to chase a championship like we've seen happen before, but to build one right here in Milwaukee. He was surrounded with the incredible role players to support him, and we've seen Chris Middleton have great games. We've seen Drew Holiday play great defense and have great games. But also, he put up a 50-piece to clinch a finals victory. That's his first career 50-point game. That's coming off of hyperextending his knee and missing 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. That is putting your team on your back here in Milwaukee, but how was he able to elevate his play in every single game we've watched him play the finals?
First and foremost, you talked about the points, 50, which is just incredible. He's probably the 6th player to ever do that in the NBA Finals.
Ties
Don't
the record
underestimate the rebounds or the made free throws, which allowed him to continue to be aggressive. The defense against DeAndre Ayton, and it says 5 blocks, but he probably changed 5 more shots. Complete dominance.
17 of 19 at the free throw line. His level of concentration and focus in this finals was off the charts. And the love affair in Milwaukee between Giannis Antetokounmpo and this city and this community, I think it's unlike any in the NBA.
Well, it's been clear with the amount of support that they have. Like we said, 10% of the city is sitting right here behind us and or inside of Fiserv Forum because they wanted to see this game. They wanted to have an opportunity to see their MVP win a championship.
I'm glad you went there. And by the way, there are only 3 people to ever be MVP of the regular season, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP. Giannis is going to be the 3rd today. The other 2, Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan. And I'm trying to tell you, Maria, watching all of these great all-NBA MVP caliber players in their prime, it hits different for a fan base when you build it and stay. I saw when Dirk did it. I saw when Tim Duncan did it. Kobe did it. It just hits different. This is a special love affair that's going to carry on for decades.
Listen, Giannis just officially won NBA Finals MVP. younger. So if you're looking into making history for a long time to come, you got one in Giannis.
And also, it's one thing to build around a great player, but when he's a tall, versatile man like Giannis, it's a game-changing thing, because now all of a sudden he can be that anchor that dominates the paint, and you can still have Middleton go off. You can have Drew Holiday be terrific defensively and as a playmaker.
A 3-year run for Giannis Antetokounmpo, back-to-back NBA MVPs, and now an NBA Finals MVP, and the Bucks' first championship in 50 years.
Absolutely. They were able to win the regular season twice. Now they win the postseason once for the second time in 50 years. 1971 and 2021. Think about that, guys. The 50-year anniversary of Milwaukee's first title becomes the beginning of their second. Back to you, Kevin.
Maria, thanks so much. And on a night, Giannis goes for 50. And by the way, Giannis, deservedly so, gets all the accolades. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, the supporting cast, outstanding as well. 50 points, tied for the most ever in a
fourth playoff game in which all 10 starters shot 50% or better. It was the first time it's happened in the finals. Both teams combined to shoot 56% from the field and 57% from three-point range. We now welcome in one of the men who will be calling the game tonight, point guard extraordinaire, on and off the court, the one and only Mark Jackson is with me right now. Queens is in the building. Good to see you, my man. Talk to me about CP3 and the performance he put forth in Game 5. I know it was good, but in the end, it wasn't enough, particularly with that foul he committed against Giannis on the alley-oop, basically sealing the deal for the Milwaukee Bucks, not in the favor of the Phoenix Suns. What can CP3 do to make up for that, Mark Jackson?
Well, he's got to be better, and he would be the first to tell you. The numbers said he had a good night, but if you break it down and watch the footage, it wasn't a CP3 that we've become accustomed to watching. First ballot Hall of Famer. He's got to take care of the basketball. He's got to be more aggressive offensively. He's got to get guys involved, and he's got to lead this basketball team offensively and defensively. So he's a student of the game, a guy that watches film, and I'm sure that if he watched the film, because it was me, I would nitpick and say I've got to be better to put ourselves in a situation to see a Game 7.
Mark Jackson, Monty Williams, the coach of the Phoenix Suns, was on the record stating that they got to do whatever they've got to do to make sure that the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks are back on the plane for Game 7. What can the Phoenix Suns do tonight to make sure we're all back on the plane for Game 7?
I think they'll be ready. They have great leadership in Monty Williams. They have a fighting, competitive spirit. You look at this team that in the bubble had to win every game to give themselves a chance to be in the playoffs. They did that. This team has handled adversity exceptionally well, and I expect tonight to be no different. It's going to be a heck of a ball game, and it's far from over this series.
Mark Jackson, I'm critical about this. I've been nitpicky about this. I think Cam Johnson should see more playing time. The guy can shoot. They need another shooter up in there. What are your thoughts about that real quick?
Well, he's a talented basketball player, can shoot with range, has size, the versatility to defend multiple positions, and he's gaining more and more confidence. He has played well every time he's been called upon in this series, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him play bigger minutes.
Speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, let's transition to them anyway. They can win it all within the next 48 minutes of playing time, obviously. What do they need to do? How should they approach tonight's game?
Well, there's one way to approach it. That's with the mentality that the 60,000 plus outside or the 20,000 in this arena will not score a basket. They won't get a stop. You can't all of a sudden think because you're at home in a Game 6 situation you're going to win the title. You're playing against a dangerous Phoenix Suns team that's coming to force this series to go back to Phoenix. You have to respond with the same defensive effort that you played with and the same way of sharing the basketball offensively. The three-headed monster in Giannis and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton played great basketball. They're going to need it again.
Our point guard, speaking the truth as always, Mark Jackson. Appreciate you, man. Have a great night calling the game with Jeff Van Gundy and Mike Breen.
Absolutely.
All right. Mark Spears, Drew Holiday, the impact that he's had on this Bucks team. Speak to that for a second.
When are we going to start respecting him as a defender? I know Chris Paul is an amazing offensive player.
He is first team all defense. I mean, that's Drew Holiday.
Three-time all
Olympic competition, Team USA. Obviously, Drew Holiday, after this finals is over, he's scheduled to go over to Tokyo along with his teammate Chris Middleton, along with Devin Booker. What's the plans for them on how are they going to get to the Tokyo once this series is over? Can you talk about that for a second?
Stephen A., they got a private jet waiting on them.
Okay.
But it's not scheduled to Friday. No matter what happens today, It's not scheduled to Friday, and I guess right now it's supposed to be in Phoenix. So, hey, we'll see what happens, but it's going to be an awkward flight either way, right? Chris Middleton has not talked to Devin Booker this whole series. They haven't spoken. He said, hey, they don't have to be best friends, but they'll eventually be teammates. But whoever wins, what's that, a 15-hour flight?
That's right.
They're going to be smelling like champagne, and maybe they had their hat on, and the other dude is...
I'm a little turned off that if the series were to end tonight, that you somehow, some way can't have a plane for them tomorrow, and they still got to wait for Friday. But that's a story for another day.
Hey, well, maybe they're waiting on somebody else to clear quarantine.
I got you. Real quick, before I let you get on out of here. 8 coaching vacancies, 7 filled by African Americans. What about that? What do you have to tell us about that, real quick?
Me and you have been hard on the NBA about their lack of black coaches. Now it's 13 out of 30. If you consider the Asian coach in Miami and the Hispanic one in Charlotte, half of the NBA's coaches now are coaches of color. Wow. Adam Silver said they still have a lot to work on, but he's very pleased by the progress.
Pleased with you.